So regarding the disorders of amino acid metabolisms, any deficiency in the process of the amino acids, then also the person was suffering from the certain conditions, abnormal physiology, and those are known as the disorders of amino acid metabolism. So before you can go through for the metabolic disorder related to the abnormal amino acid metabolism, we can highlight regarding the review of amino acids. So dear students, the amino acids, so they are mainly classified into two types, that is the glucogenic amino acids and ketogenic amino acids. So these amino acids, so they are reutilized like a arginine, glutamate, histidine, purine. So that was converted into glutamate after transamination. Then that glutamate is converted into that is the alpha ketoglutarate. Then that alpha ketoglutarate is enter in the TCA cycle, then involved in the productions of the energy. Or so these amino acids are involved in the formations of the protein. So like that they are processed. Then like isoleucine, methionine, threonine, and valine, so they are required for the formations of succinyl CoA, and phenylalanine, tyrosine, so they are required for the formations of the fumarate. Then asparginase, aspartate, they are required for the formations of oxaloacetate. Alanine, cysteine, glycine, serine, threonine, tryptophan, so they are required for the formations of the pyruvate. Isoleucine, leucine, threonine, tryptophan, so they are required for the formations of acetyl CoA. And leucine, lysine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, then tyrosine, so they are required for the formations of acetyl CoA, then as well as the energy compound ketone. So like that, so these amino acids, so they are metabolized very well. So they are involved in the formations of proteins, or they are involved in the formations of energy, enter into the TCA cycle. If any abnormalities in the processing of the amino acid, then the person was suffering from the certain disorder, and those disorders are known as the metabolic disorder related to the amino acids. But today now we can discuss regarding some important, many disorders are there. So those are related to the deficient in the metabolism of the proteins, as well as the deficient in the metabolism of the amino acids. Among them only we can highlight the few important metabolic disorder. So those are related to the abnormal metabolism of the amino acids. The first one is the phenylKetonurea. So that was related to the deficient in the metabolism of phenylalanine. So the defective enzyme is the deficiency of this enzyme. So that was responsible for to cause of the phenylketonurea, that was known as the phenylalanine decarboxylase enzyme. And second, that was known as the methylmalonic acidurea. So this condition is occurred due to deficient in the metabolism of isoleucine, valine, threonine, and methionine. And so the enzyme defect is a methylmalonyl CoA mutase. Then alkaptonuria, that was related to the amino acid deficient metabolism. The enzyme responsible for this is homogeneous deoxygenase enzyme. Then Parkinson disease, it is related to the malfunctions of phenylalanines, tyrosines, and levodopa. These are the amino acids, and the enzymes are the decarboxylase enzyme. Then Homocysteine urea, that was related to the deficient in the metabolism of the methionine. Then the enzyme responsible for this disorder is the cytothione beta synthase or methanol synthase. Then Hartnupp's disease, it was causes due to related to the malfunctions or mal metabolism of the neutral amino acids, especially that is the tryptophans, but also occur due to the uh, deficient in the metabolism of the, so these neutral amino acids. So these are the important metabolic disorder today we can discuss. Okay, so the first one is known as the phenylketonurea. It is also written as the PKU. It is a inborn error or inborn deficient in the metabolism related to the metabolism of phenylalanines. So this phenylalanine we can got from the protein source, that is the protein diet source, as well as the tissue protein. So in the presence of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, So that phenylalanine was converted into tyrosine. Then that tyrosine involved in the oxidation process, protein synthesis, synthesis of the catecholamine, synthesis of the thyroxine, that is the thyroid hormones, as well as synthesis of the melanin. So due to deficient in this enzyme, so that phenylalanine was not processed or not metabolized into a tyrosine. So due to that, the phenylalanine was accumulated. Then finally it was converted into phenyl lactate, okay, or phenyl acetate. So these are toxic to the our body, and that was where the phenylalanine level was increases in the urine or in the blood. So that condition is known as the PKU or phenylketonuria. So this is the cause. The reason for the cause is the deficient of phenylalanine decarboxylase enzyme are unable to break the phenylalanines or phenylalanine. It was build up or accumulated in our body that was responsible to cause of the phenylketonuria. So regarding the symptoms, regarding the phenylketonuria, that is the seizures, tremors or trembling and shaking movements are present, stunted growth, hyperactivity, the musty odor of their breath, skin and urine. Okay, so there is a problem in the breath or smell in the breath, skin, the skin is also smelled, and as well as the urine was the musty odor is present. So those are the signs and symptoms of the that is the phenylketonuria PQ. So regarding the treatment, you should be avoid the foods so that is the containing high proteins, especially eggs, beans, chicken, beef, pork and fish in case of the phenylketonuria, and as well as the medication is available. It can correct the PQ that was known as the saprotranin or Kuan. It was lowers the phenylalanine by enhancing its metabolisms. Okay, so like that. So these are the therapy for the phenylketonuria. So next one. So regarding the methylmalonic acid urea, it is also autosomal disorder where it can defect in the metabolism of the amino acids. Okay, especially that the isoleucine, valine, methionine, threonine. If their abnormal metabolism is there, means then the propionic acid or malonic acid was increases in our body. So due to that, they are more found in our urine. That was condition is known as the methylmalonic acid urea. So that occur due to deficiency of the propionyl CoA carboxylase enzyme, and as well as the deficiency of the methylmalonic CoA mutase enzyme. So that mutase enzyme is required for conversions of methylmalonic CoA into succinyl CoA. Then the succinyl CoA enter the TCA cycle. So like that. So these amino acids are processed or metabolism. If problem in the mutase enzyme or methylmalonic CoA mutase enzyme, then the methylmalonic CoA level is increases. So that was converted into methylmalonic acid. Then the methylmalonic acid is more found in our urine. So that condition was known as the methylmalonic acid urea. So the symptoms regarding this are decreased conscious, difficulty in breathing, vomiting, muscle weakness, low energy or lethargy, low body, seizures, encephalopathy and stroke. So these are the signs and symptoms of the methylmalonic acid urea. So regarding the treatment, it was once again it was treated with the by restrictions of the protein diet or to modify the diet regarding the decrease the level of isoleucine, valine, threonine, methionine in our food. Then as well as to give the cobalamin supplement, it is was the vitamins. Then also it can administer the enzyme like the L-carnitine, and also the liver transplantation that was helpful for the treatment of the that is the methylmalonic acid urea. So next one condition, so that was known as the L-captonuria. It is characterized by the deficiency of the homogenistic homogenistic acid deoxygenase enzyme. So that enzyme is required for the conversions of homogenetic acid into mallyl acetoacetic acid. Then further, so that was converted into fumaric acid and acetoacetic acid. And this homogenetic acid is the metabolites of the metabolism of amino acid phenylalanine. Phenylalanine converted to tyrosine. Tyrosine was converted to pyruvic acid 3,4. then that was converted to homogenic acid, then presence of dioxygenase enzyme that was converted into mallyl acetoacetic. But the deficiency in this enzyme, the homogenetic acid is not metabolized. So that was accumulated in our blood. So that was found in the urine. So that condition was known as the urea. So regarding the symptoms, there is a dark spot in the sclera of that is the white of the eyes. So you can see here, so this is the dark spot. It is indications of the alkaptonuria or lack of the metabolism of the phenylalanine or lack of the homogenetic acid deoxygenase enzyme or increase the level of the homogenetic acid. Due to that, it was accumulated in the here one dark spots is produced in the eye, as well as the urine color was changes. It becomes more and more browns, dark brown. Then as well as thickened the darkened cartilage in the ear. So in the ear, the cartilage was thickened and some pigment was developed. Then blue speckled discolorations of skin, particularly around the sweat gland, the blue color is developed. Then as well as black earwax was generated in the ear. Then kidney stones, prostate stones are produced, especially the arthritis, especially the hip and knee joints are the pain or abnormals due to accumulations of the certain stones. So these are the sign and symptoms of the urea that was occurred due to deficiency in the metabolism of the amino acids like a phenylalanine. Due to that, the homogenetic acid was accumulated in our body. So regarding treatment, once again, the treatment is low protein diet and as well as to administer the large dose of vitamin C that was slow down the accumulations of homogenic acid in cartilage, as well as to give the physical and occupational therapy, so that was strengthen the flexibility muscles and joints, and as well as the drug is available for the treatment of the alkaline peptideuria, so that was known as the nitisinone. So next one is the Parkinson disease. It is a progressive neurological disorder caused due to the imbalance between the dopamine and acetylcholine level in the substantia nigra. So substantia nigra is the parts of our brain. It was regulate the coordinations of the body, or it can regulate the muscle contractions or muscles activity. Even it can regulate the motor and locomotions. So that was regulated with the help of the balance between the acetylcholine and dopamine. So dopamine is the inhibitory and acetylcholine is the stimulatory. Acetylcholine enhance the contraction, dopamine decrease the contractions. So like that, so our all locomotions are normal up to, so when the dopamine and acetylcholine level in the substantia nigra is normal. If any abnormalities or imbalance between the dopamine and acetylcholine means, then we are suffering from the Parkinson disease. Like the symptoms are rigidity, slowed postures, some shaky movements are there, tremors are there. So like that, the symptoms were produced. So that condition was known as the Parkinson disease that was occurred due to deficiency of the metabolism of the amino acids like a phenylalanine, tyrosine, and as well as the levodopa. So regarding the treatment, so that was treated with the help of the levodopa and dopamine agonist, as well as the brain surgery, speech therapy, physical therapy, as well as the occupational therapy. So that was helpful for the treatment of the Parkinson disease. So next one is the homocysteine urea. It is the genetic disorder caused due to deficiency of the, that is the cystathioin beta synthase enzyme. So that enzyme is required for the metabolism of the methionine amino acid. So due to lack of this enzyme, the homocysteine level was increases in our plasma, so as well as in the urine. So that condition was known as the homocysteine urea. So symptoms regarding the homocysteine urea is a, okay, so homocystinuria is the condition or metabolic disorder or genetic disorder. So that was causes due to abnormal metabolism of the methionine due to deficiency of the, so this cytothione beta synthase enzyme. So due to that, the homocysteine level was increases, then the person was suffering from the dislocation of the eyes lens, as well as that is the near side tenderness, then glaucoma, and problem in the osteoporosis, or suffering from the osteoporosis, or problem in the growth or development even. So that was suffering from the CNS disorder due to accumulations of the homocysteine. That condition was known as the homocysteine urea. So once again, that was treated with the help of the vitamin B6, then as well as restricting the protein that was containing the methionine as the amino acids, as well as that was treated with the help of the betaine, it is the nutrient, and also that was treated with the help of the folic supplement by adding the amino acid like a cysteine, that is also helpful for the treatment of the homocysteine urea. And the last condition, so that was known as the herd Hartnupp's disease. It is a congestional disorder characterized by a defect in the renal and intestinal absorptions of the that is a neutral amino acid, especially that was the tryptophan. So due to deficiency of the processing of the or lack of the absorptions of tryptophan, the person was suffering from the tryptophan deficiency. So due to that, also he is suffering from the niacin deficiency and serotonin deficiency. Due to that, he is suffering from the pellagra like a dermatitis, diarrhea, dementia, and as well as neurological problems like ataxia, then photosensitive reactions, and many other problems. So they are he is suffering from, because tryptophan, it was play an important role in the formations of serotonin, and serotonin was play an important role in the regulations of the circadian rhythm, biological rhythms. Okay, so Hartnup disease, it is a metabolic disorder or congestional disorder. So that was occurred due to malabsorptions of the tryptophan amino acids from the intestine and as well as in the renal. So due to that, the person was suffering from the niacin deficiency because tryptophan was responsible for the formations of niacin. So due to that, he was suffering from the niacin deficiency. Then he was suffering from the pellagra or dermatitis, diarrhea, and dementia. And also the tryptophan is required for the synthesis of the serotonin, and serotonin is the an amino acid that is a neurotransmitter. So that was play an important regulations of the circadian rhythm or biological clock. Due to that, the person was suffering neurological problems as well as ataxia. And also, the person was suffering from the photosensitivity. Okay, so that condition was known as the Hartnup disease. It is a hereditary disorder or autosomal recessive disorder. So, due to that, the person was suffering from the amino acid urea or niacin deficiency urea or ataxia or photosensitive. So, diagnosis regarding the Hartnup disease, that was increase the level of the amino acids, especially neutral amino acids in the urine. So that can denote the person is suffering from the Hartnup disease. Regarding treatment, so that was treated with the help of the protein diet and as well as the niacin supplement.